Hiya! Today we're going to be doing some cooking at home. Some of it is not cooking at all, others requires just a little bit of time. And we are going to do a grazing table to celebrate the start of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a Celebrity is where you get a bunch of celebrities. They're not big A-list celebrities, they're people who are trying to make a name for themselves, recover their career, boost their career even. And they will be paid a certain amount of money to go to Australia for 3 weeks and do things that are way out of their comfort zone and eat things that are frankly horrendous. These are called bush tucker trials, and the aim is that you win food for camp. Otherwise, all you get is rice and beans, and you get that with no seasoning. Very boring, and it drives people up the wall because they have enough food, but not much food. So we're going to make a few things today that are in tune with that. We're going to make python en croute. We're going to have frog spawn and fish guts. We are also going to have dung balls, ostrich schnitzel. Of course, we're not really going to have these things. We're going to have things that look like that, hopefully. So I'm going to show you how to make things, or at least how I'm going to make things. Python en croute? No, we're not going to use a real python. It's just going to be a sausage roll shaped like a snake. So to do that, you need a couple of things. Sausages, puff pastry. Don't waste time making puff pastry, it's arduous. You can get this from the supermarket, it takes all the hassle out of it. And you will need an egg. I did this last year and I made the mistake of making the python way too big. And I say that because I want to put it on this plate. So to do that, I'm going to measure out this plate on the baking sheet that I'm going to use, and hopefully that will make it a bit easier. First of all, you need the pastry, and put some plain flour down on the bench. And once you open this up, you'll find a ready rolled tube, which comes out in a nice roll, like that. However, I am not going to use all of that for the body of the snake. I'm going to cut a bit off here, so I can use that to make the head. So it's about a third. I'll cut that off, and this is going to form the body of the snake. And again, it's not going to look that good going that way, so I'm going to cut this in half. These are very rough sizes. And put the sausage meat down the middle. So here we have the sausages, and this is the bit I really don't like. Sausages, of course, in Britain are cased in this. If you can get sausage meat, great, use that. But all you need to do, slice down the middle of the sausage and remove the casings. And once you've taken the skins off all of them, you've got some lovely sausage meat to work with. So the next thing to do, you've got your egg wash that works as both the glue and the colouring on the top. Take 2 bits of sausages, mush them together a bit, and now you have to roll them into one bigger sausage. Now, one end has to be the tail of the python, so make sure you have that. Take your egg wash, roll it on the, brush it on the side, and then, as the name suggests, sausage roll, you just roll it over, and that seals it nicely. Now this is going to be the end of the python, so it's nice there. Now you do exactly the same thing with the next one, but I put 2 sausages plus a pinch, because you don't need to have that tail. Mush it all together. I know it's not a very technical term. And then spread it out into a sausage again. If it gets a bit thin in places, don't worry. You can just take a bit off one of the other sausages. Get your egg wash, whoosh it down the side, and then roll your sausage roll. Okay. And now the hard bit. What we're going to try and do is make this into a triangle. Right, so if you just mark it there with your fingers, get the remainder of the sausage meat. This is 1.5 sausages. And spread it out into the triangle that you've made. This is not a very exact science. Fold over the first bit of the triangle, put on some egg wash to glue it together, and then squeeze around the second part. It's not a perfect triangle, but it doesn't need to be. And now the bit that I find hardest is we try to make the slinky snake with the rolls and the head that we have. So here's the outline of the size of the dish. So I'm going to put that there. That's the head. And now the middle bit, which can go like that. And then the tail, which fits in quite nicely. Now all we need to do is egg wash these bits and glue them together so that it's one snake. Now the egg wash is on, we can do some decorating. I've got a knife here. I'm just going to press it in to look like some scales. You can do that, or you can try just cutting some thin lines so that they look like scales there. Some more here, just like you would a normal sausage roll. Then you come to the head. As you can see, this is all glued quite nicely, and the pastry is still very mouldable. And what you need to do is make sure that you've got a couple of eyes. So there you have your eyes, and a few more scales. Et voila, salmon en croute. And here comes, I think this is done, our python en croute. So I'm going to let this cool before I put it on the plate and just hope that it does fit. So now the python's a lot cooler, first thing I'm going to do is whip it off the baking tray and get ready to hope that this is going to fit as marked on the dish. Fingers crossed. Excellent. So not exactly fitting, but definitely much better than my effort last year. At the same time that we're going to be cooking the python, we're also going to make frog spawn with fish guts. No, No frog spawn, no actual fish, definitely. So to do that, what you need is frog spawn, giant couscous, a selection of veggies that we're going to roast, and a couple of stock cubes to cook the couscous. Very straightforward, very easy and very effective. And there you have a nice selection of veggies. Take your oil, put a couple of tablespoons over them, massage it in, and now we're ready for the oven. The next stage in the process is to make the frog spawn. Now I'm not going to insult you by telling you how to make couscous. The instructions are on the packet, all you have to do is follow them. Now the fish guts are ready, as you can see, nicely roasted. So all we need to do is plop them into a bowl and then add the couscous. And there we have fish guts and frog spawn. On top of that, we're going to do dung balls with slime. Don't worry, it's blueberry scones with lemon curd. You will need scales, a mixing bowl, 40 grams of butter or stalk SB, which is great for cooking, 220 grams of self-raising flour, and a little bit of milk. But let's not forget the most important part. Some lovely, juicy, fresh, ready to cook, ready rinsed blueberries. 220 grams of self-raising flour, 40 grams of fat, in this case stalk SB, that's about 43 we'll go with that. Now you need to rub the fat into the flour to a breadcrumb consistency. Break it up into little pieces, just using your fingertips, literally rub it together. When you think you've done it all, shake your bowl and you'll see just how big the lumps are, so just keep going. Until you're happy it looks like a bowl full of breadcrumbs. And then add the blueberries. The next stage is to mix the blueberries so that they're fairly evenly distributed. I find this doesn't work at all in terms of even distribution. And then take the milk. Now for me, I've had so many recipes over the years that have said, oh, add X tablespoons of milk or X milliliters. I found the best way is, each flour that I use is different, is just to add a little bit of milk each time. What you want to do is get a clay-like consistency. So just mix it up and see it's all starting to come together. See, most of it's clagging, but you just need a little bit more. and I would recommend doing this a little bit at a time. Nearly there. That might have been a bit too much, but we'll see. There we go. Hands in. And there we have a nice ball of dough. And there we have 1, 2, 3, 4 dung balls ready to go into the oven for 16 minutes at 180 degrees. And now the dung balls are out. So you can see, there they are, lovely round balls, quite brown, but the blueberries have popped in the oven, making them look even more disgusting. So we'll just leave these to cool off, to be served with urine, lemon curd and butter. So for the witchetty grubs, we are going to be using wotsits, which are giant wotsits, which are just cheesy corn puffs. As a dipping snack, we have some blue corn chips, blue nachos, which I'm going to bill as crocodile scales. And we're going to have those with 2 dips, sour cream and guacamole. Only these are going to be termed vomit fruit and pus. And finally, these are the very easy bits. These are things that you get in advance, but with this bit, you actually have to prepare well in advance. It's currently getting towards the end of November, but I found in the run-up to Halloween, there's all kinds of gruesome things that you can get, like jelly snakes. These are apparently jelly frogs, and bursting blisters, which are milk chocolates with sour green apple flavour filling, ready to pop. So for this next stage, we have the ostrich, which are packed in plastic, which is never good. We have a plastic bag and a rolling pin. Now you can use a meat hammer. I don't have a meat hammer, but I do have a rolling pin. So what I need to do is batter these to make them thinner. I'm hoping this is what they're supposed to look like. I have no idea. So take your rolling pin, put it in the bag, and your steaks should be about twice the size they were before. It's exactly the same if you do this with chicken breast or you do it with a bit of pork. I would imagine if you do it with tofu, it would be exactly the same. So now we have to coat them and fry them. Some flour, seasoned with a bit of salt and pepper, and some panko. Oh, hang on. Turns out the pack of panko I thought we haven't got, so this is going to be different. So now, minus the panko, we need to coat the steaks first in the egg, then in the flour, and then put them into the fairly warm frying pan. Okay, let's see how these guys are holding up. Not great, but definitely looking more like a bush tucker challenge. So I think that might be it. I'm going to serve it on a tortilla just in case it needs to be disguised. One for Michelle and one for me. Dung balls, frog spawn and fish guts, python on croute, witchetty grubs, dragon scales, worms, pustules, frogs, vomit fruit and pus. Okay, so what do you think you've got in front of you?
Well, it looks like ostrich asshole, but I'm hoping it's not. I've had gizzard before, ostrich gizzard, and I took one taste of it. I don't know why it was considered interesting or anything.
Well,
normally this would be covered in panko, wouldn't it?
yes.
Oh, this is lovely. Doesn't taste like chicken. It doesn't taste like beef. Sort of a more lamby flavour, funnily enough.
Oh, excellent.
But I imagine, knowing ostrich, this must be what dinosaurs tasted like.
So you ready for the next lot?
Really? I believe it's the vomit course.
Oh, I found that very, very filling. So I'm just going to give it a bit of a wait, to be honest.
I'll give it a wait. I'll have some of these
Dung balls.
Dung balls first while I'm waiting. Maybe a little bit of that green pus.
And I think we're going to have enough, not just for today, but for lunch tomorrow and dinner tomorrow night. So, bargain.